height on your basic unit, the width of the doorway. Then, turning the proportion finder to vertical, count how many widths is the height of the doorway by moving the tool along the side edge of the doorway. The proportion is a ratio, meaning a relationship. For this doorway, the ratio is 1, the width, to 2 2/3, the height. Put down the proportion finder and hold that ratio in your mind. 1 to 2 2/3. Then pick up your pencil and turn to your drawing, where you have established your basic unit, the width of the doorway. Now, using your pencil, measure the width of the doorway in your drawing. This is your 1, your basic unit, in the drawing. Say to yourself, 1, the width, then turn the pencil vertically and count off to 1, 2 2/3, moving the pencil down what will be the side of the doorway. Make a mark at 2 2/3 and then draw in the side of the doorway. Now, let's work with the angle finder. Choose an angle to sight. Hold your angle finder so that one arm is vertical and swing the other arm to line up with the angle you are sighting. Then, without moving the position of the arms, bring the angle finder down to your drawing. Make sure the vertical arm is vertical, that is, parallel with the edge of your format, and draw in the angle. Again, you will fit the pieces of your drawing together like a fascinating puzzle. Work from part to adjacent part, always checking the relationship of each new part to the parts already drawn. Be sure to use negative spaces as an important part of your drawing. Once you have completed the main parts of the drawing, you can focus on lights and shadows. Squinting your eyes a bit will blur the details and allow you to see large shapes of lighted areas and shadowed areas. Again, using your new sighting skills, you can erase out the shapes of the lights and use your pencil to darken in the shapes of the shadows. These shapes are sighted in exactly the same way as you have sighted the other parts of the drawing. What is the angle of that shadow relative to horizontal? How wide is that streak of light relative to the width of the doorway? If any part of the drawing seems off or, quote, out of drawing, as such errors are called, check the troublesome area by refinding your chosen composition. With your plastic picture plane viewfinder, match up your basic unit again with the width of the doorway out there. Look at the image on the plane, with one eye closed, of course, and alternately glance down at your drawing to double-check angles and proportions. Make any corrections that seem reasonably easy to make. Remember, drawing is always an approximation, not photography. Stop the video and begin your sighting drawing. Congratulations! You have just accomplished a drawing that many advanced art students would find daunting, if not impossible. Let's see how our two students did with this lesson. Laura chose a complicated view and at first had some difficulty because she kept forgetting to close one eye to flatten the view on the plane. Soon, however, she reminded herself to stay on the plane and ended with this fine drawing. Note that the scene is very ordinary, but Laura's drawing is lovely and we feel drawn to the open, mysterious doorway. I often feel that subject matter is the least important aspect of drawing. Any ordinary subject, lovingly observed, can result in a wonderful drawing. Mark chose a much simpler view, but as you see, simple views make good drawings too. Mark's sighting of the angles is excellent, but there's a little wobble at the end of the counter that he could easily correct. In time, you will discard all of the sighting tools and use only your pencil for sighting both angles and proportions. This makes drawing wonderfully simple, requiring only paper, a pencil, and some time to draw. Anything can be a subject for drawing, anything from old shoes to a crowded street scene to the Grand Canyon. In your next lesson, you will integrate everything you've learned so far in drawing your first real portrait. In this lesson, you'll do your first drawing of a person using all of the skills you've learned so far. You will need to find a model, which is not always easy. Many people strenuously object to sitting perfectly still for any period of time. One solution is to draw someone who is reading or watching television. Another possibility is to catch someone sleeping. In portrait drawing, artists have traditionally posed their models in one of three views. Full face. The model faces the artist directly, with both sides of the model's face fully visible to the artist. Profile. The model faces left or right, and only one side of the face is visible to the artist. Three-quarter view. The model makes a half turn left or right, and 3/4 of the face is visible to the artist. That is 1/2 plus 1/4. In this lesson, you will be drawing a profile portrait. The most frequent error made by beginners in drawing the human head is the chopped off skull error. For reasons that are still unclear, beginning students apparently see the top half of the head as smaller than it actually is. Perhaps this is because we naturally pay more attention to people's features, therefore they seem larger. So you cannot rely on what you think you see. You must take sights on your model using your proportion finder. Then you must trust your own sightings. This is really the hardest part. These proportions will help avoid this misperception. From eye level to chin equals eye level to the topmost curve of the head. Eye level to chin equals back of the eye to the back of the ear. As you begin your drawing, make sure to avoid enlarging the features relative to the skull. Here's what you'll need for your profile portrait. The large drawing pad, the drawing board, drawing pencils, the pencil sharpener, the white plastic eraser, the gray kneaded eraser, the graphite stick, the small or large picture plane viewfinder, the felt tip pen, the extra large template, the angle finder, the proportion finder, 2 chairs, one to sit on and one to lean your drawing board on, a small table on which to put your tools and materials. Most important, you'll need a model, someone who will pose for you in profile view, and about 1 to 2 hours of uninterrupted time. As always, start by drawing a format using your extra large template. Lightly tone your paper, then add the crosshairs. Pose your model in profile view. Sit as close to your model as possible. Next, use your picture plane viewfinder to compose your drawing. Close one eye and hold up the viewfinder, moving it backward and forward until the head of your model is placed pleasingly within the format. That is, not too crowded on any edge and with enough of the neck and shoulders to provide support for the head. Now that you have decided on your composition, hold the viewfinder as steadily as possible and choose a basic unit, a convenient size and shape to guide proportions as you draw. The span from the model's eye level to the bottom of the chin is a good basic unit. You, however, may prefer to use another basic unit, perhaps the length of the nose or the span from the bottom of the nose to the bottom of the chin. Next, mark the top and bottom of your basic unit with your felt tip marker directly on the picture plane. Then, transfer your basic unit to your drawing paper using the crosshairs to enable you to scale up the unit. At this point, you can begin to draw, confident that you will end up with the composition you have so carefully chosen. Use the negative space in front of the profile and, rather than drawing the profile, draw the edge of that negative shape. Then, check the angle of the nose relative to horizontal by using your angle finder. Place the eye in relation to the innermost curve of the bridge of the nose, checking the angle of the eyelid relative to horizontal. Use the shape under the nostril as a negative shape. Check the angle of the center line of the mouth. This is the only true edge of the mouth. The upper and lower contours only mark a color change. This color change boundary should be drawn lightly. Note that in profile, the angle of the center line of the mouth, the true edge, often descends relative to horizontal. Don't hesitate to draw this angle just as you see it. Using the